you know what I have in here? This is the last set of NFL picks for the regular season on this notepad. I can't believe we actually already made it here. And on top of that, just like yesterday, I also have to take into consideration there are a whole bunch of teams that are going to rest their starters because of the 14 possible teams that are in the playoffs, 12 of them have already clinched a spot. They're going to rest their starters. There's no need for them to worry. Well, there shouldn't be a need for them to worry. Literally, both Tampa and Denver just need to win, and they're in. But I'll get to that in a second. So, happy Sunday, everyone. Let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Let's see, what was my low? Actually, last night, there was going to be a DJ playing over at the Illegal Tap House. And I went. But they canceled. I mean, well, I shouldn't say thankfully because it was for a good reason. The guy is sick, which it doesn't entirely surprise me. Early January is close to the pinnacle of flu season. Wait until you get to February. That's when it gets worse. So, if you're currently feeling under the weather, you have my sympathies. If you're not feeling under the weather or if you're worried about it, I mean, just make good choices. Be sure to have some medicine on hand. Again, January in upstate New York, a lot of people I know are getting sick. There are some families I know that have been battling sickness for almost 2 weeks now. It's crazy. So, hopefully a day in watching football will brighten their day. Speaking of brightening my day, actually, hold on. I'll be right back. So last night, I actually, I went to church, and I'm going to go to church again, but there was someone who I know who was in church, and they actually wanted to wish me happy birthday, so they gave me this birthday card. It's got cute little doggies on it. Oh, it's so cute. It's one of the cutest birthday cards I've ever gotten. It's awesome. So that was my high. Okay, I'm going to put this back now. Okay. So, I was talking about my lows had the DJ canceled, my high was the birthday card. My act of kindness was helping my parents take care of my nephews when we all had dinner together. Unfortunately, with Sorges no longer being in business, we need to find somewhere to go for dinner. Thankfully, last night we just kept it simple. My family went to church in Corning, and I went to church in Horseheads. And right now, it makes sense to do that because there's always a chance that my family will come to Horseheads or Elmira for dinner after church. So, and I live here in Elmira, so it makes sense. Or if they want to go to their house, that's fine too. It's not really that far of a drive for me. In fact, I wound up beating my folks home, which was awesome. So, yeah, we just had pizza, wings. It was very nice, quiet. I'd say quiet, but I mean, it's three little boys. You know how rambunctious they're going to be. So, before I get into these picks, let me go over the games yesterday. Okay, so. I actually wound up being 1-1 yesterday because I was right about the Ravens winning, but I was actually wrong about the Steelers winning. So, foremost, Bengals, congratulations. It's a real shame, too, because both Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have been playing phenomenally. And they just don't have a good team around them. I'll tell you what. If by some miracle the Bengals wind up making the playoffs today, which is possible, I'll get to that in a second, then I think they may actually give Joe Burrow the MVP. Considering everything that Joe Burrow has done this year, because he has had a phenomenal season. Unfortunately, the record doesn't really show it. But if they make the playoffs, that changes everything. So, hold on a second. Let me show off the, yeah, see, so I'm a 1-1 on the weekend so far. Now, with that said, I have 14 games to go over. Actually, hold on. Before I go over the 14 games, let me double save this real fast. You always got to double save our work. Okay, save number 1. And save, oh shoot. Hold on. How do I delete a file I accidentally made? Hold on. Shoot. Unfortunately, because I have this keyboard on, the actual laptop keyboard, sometimes it presses buttons that it shouldn't, which I hate it when it does that. Why is it not letting me delete this? Well, at least it's saved. Well, that moves from the list. Shoot. Okay, why is it not letting me delete this file? I don't want this file on my thing anymore. Shoot. Oh well. I'll just take it what it is. I have a lot of stuff to do anyway. Plus at least it's saved. That's nice. I'll double save this file instead. Perfect. Now then, let's also look at the NFL playoff picture. NFL playoff picture, okay. All right, let's see here. All right, so as of right now, if I can just load real fast. If the Buccaneers lose, and if the Buccaneers lose, there's a 30% chance they make the playoffs. If they win, they're in, no matter what. The one team that can stop them are the Atlanta Falcons. If they win, there's a 14% chance. And if they lose, they're out. Now, as of this moment in time, The Cincinnati Bengals, who won last night, have a 13% chance of making the playoffs. Both the Dolphins and the Broncos need to lose for the Bengals to get in. Hence why I mentioned the Joe Burrow stuff earlier. So with all that said, let's get into today's game. Now, the first game is actually the Panthers and the Falcons. Here's the thing. I think the Falcons can beat the Panthers. Honestly, this is the closest they're going to get to the playoffs. We'll have to see how the other games play out. The Texans are in, the Titans are out. There's really nothing that can happen that'll keep them from making the playoffs. The Texans are going to rest their starters. So, you know what? I'll just say the Titans just because the Texans are going to rest their starters. They don't care. Same thing with the Eagles. Actually, the Giants are so terrible. I think the Eagles are going to win anyway. So, yeah. Both the Jaguars and the Colts, they're out. I think the Colts are better, so yeah, I think the Colts. Commanders and the Cowboys. Again, this is another team that is pretty much in no matter what happens. Oh. However, here's the thing. Both the Packers and the Bears are really now going to play for seeding. So you know what? I think I'll pick the Commanders over the Cowboys. And I'll also pick the Packers over the Bears. Right now, because both teams are 11-5, and the Commanders and the Packers are the 6th and 7th seeds respectively. If they both win, then it remains the same. But if either one of them loses, they're both still in. It's just, if one of them wins, one of them loses. If the Commanders lose and the Packers win, then that switches. And right now, if the playoffs were to start today, the Commanders would be playing the Rams, and the Packers would be playing the Eagles. Now, if that reverses, say the Commanders lose and the Packers win, the Commanders will be playing the Eagles. So, yeah. Honestly, I think both teams could rest their starters. It all depends on who they want to face in the first round. Speaking of who they want to face in the first round, the battle for the number 4 seed I mentioned is the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Since the Buccaneers know all they got to do is win against against the Saints, and then they're in, they're not going to rest their stars. They're going to go all out. I think the Buccaneers are going to win, securing the number 4 spot, thus eliminating the Falcons. But I would like to see the Falcons win just because, I mean, come on, I like rooting for the underdog. Bills and Patriots, hold on, Well, the Ravens already had their last game last night, so if the Bills lose, it wouldn't matter. The Bills are definitely going to rest their starters today. So, I mean, the Patriots really are pathetic in every way, shape, and form this season. You know what? Just for the sake of let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo. Chargers and Raiders. Now, Jim Harbaugh in his locker room speech after the Chargers won the other day said that they want to play for a better seed. And if they win, they'll do just that. So, yeah, I think the Chargers are going to beat the Raiders. Both the Cardinals and the 49ers, they're out. Doesn't matter. But you know what? I think the 49ers are going to make it happen, so the 49ers. The Chiefs and the Broncos. Now, I mentioned that if the Broncos win, they're in. And if the Chiefs were not going to rest their starters, I would say that the Chiefs are going to win. But Pat Mahomes is injured. The Chiefs have secured the number 1 spot no matter what happens after today. So I get the feeling that the Broncos are going to win only because the Chiefs are going to rest their starters. The Broncos are going to win, thus securing the 7th spot and thus eliminating the Bengals. And the Dolphins, who I will get to momentarily. Seahawks and the Rams. Seahawks are out. Rams are going to rest their starters. I think the Seahawks are going to want to end their season on a high note. I think the Seahawks. I know I just mentioned that if the Broncos win, the Dolphins and the Bengals are out. The Bengals won, so it doesn't matter. And again, the Broncos need to lose for the Dolphins to have a chance. Currently, the Dolphins have a 10% chance of winning the playoffs. If they win, it goes up to 22. I think the Dolphins will win, but I think the Broncos will win, so they'll eliminate the Dolphins. And then there's tonight's game. The Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Now, for all intents and purposes, both the Lions and the Vikings could each be the number 1 seed. The only reason why the Lions are the number 1 seed right now is because they beat the Vikings earlier this season. So they have the tiebreaker. Here's the thing. The Lions actually have a lot of injuries on their team. If the Vikings didn't care about playing against whoever the 4th seed is, I think both teams would rest their starters. But the Vikings are going to want home field advantage in the playoffs. Plus, I think they want to beat an injured Lions team. This is going to be a bold pick to make. I know the Lions are going to fight hard. Dan Campbell has that team locked and ready to go, regardless of their injuries. But I think it's not going to be enough against the Vikings. So I'll pick the Vikings to win. So I've got the Atlanta Falcons beating the Carolina Panthers, Tennessee Titans over the Houston Texans, Philadelphia Eagles over the New York Giants. Only because the Eagles, I don't know if the Eagles are resting Saquon. They've been going back and forth all week. Indianapolis Colts over the Jacksonville Jaguars, Washington Commanders over the Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers over the Chicago Bears, Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the New Orleans Saints, Buffalo Bills over the New England Patriots, Los Angeles Chargers over the Las Vegas Raiders, San Francisco 49ers over the Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos over the Kansas City Chiefs, Seattle Seahawks over the Los Angeles Rams, Miami Dolphins over the New York Jets, and the Minnesota Vikings over the Detroit Lions. Okay, here are my picks for today. And as per usual, the check mark indicates which team I picked. So there's no discrepancy. I should also say that this side is who's the home team, and this side is the away team. Probably could have mentioned that in week 1, but oh well. Better I mention it now. And obviously this is the number of picks I've made today. So yeah, for all intents and purposes, the playoffs are going to be decided today, as it should be. I think it's going to be a really exciting day for football. All NFL fans are going to go nuts today. Some fans are just going to relax because, again, their team's already in. But I think it's going to be a good day for football. I hope y'all like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, on social media, as always, under home this video. For all of you guys watching the show today, hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk, Jay will always be here to lend and always be back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.